Somebody brought to my attention that the music was too loud. I hardly had it playing, but I guess the computer speaker picked it up too loud. Nonetheless, I wanted to make a video for Victor Cruz, being that he's a Jersey guy like myself, and I know what he's going through mentally and physically, but more important, mentally. So, Victor, if you happen to see this, you're going to make it through. I want to give you some of the background of my injury. Suffered the same fate as yours, and had some other things in there as well. So on the night of April 12th, 2012, I was just coming off pneumonia, playing in a men's basketball league, teaching phys ed. I own a gym. I was sprinting down the court, and boom, thing just blew. Kneecap was all up in the side of the leg. Pain was extreme. They called the game. One of my buddies called my wife and my parents, and they met me at the hospital. And even though the pain was extreme at that point, emotionally I hadn't broken down. But when the doctor came in and kind of said, "Oh, at first look, it's ruptured patellar tendon," I never heard of anybody else doing that before, to be honest with you. And I knew it was bad, and I didn't know how it was going to affect my life. So at that point, I just started crying uncontrollably. It was tough. So this tattoo here is actually something I got 3 days before I got injured, and it means fear nothing. So, I kind of took that as a sign. I was really being tested about it, and the first weekend was very tough as far as getting my mental game back on track. I'm usually very, very optimistic and positive, but that first weekend was tough. So, I continued to do my thing. I think this is the 2 days after the injury. I wound up not being able to teach I was teaching elementary school phys ed at the time for the last 2.5 months of school because of being in a wheelchair and I couldn't drive. And my wife would drive me over to my gym every day where I would coach, my members and clients and from a wheelchair. So, I just moved on. I wound up having the surgery, as you can see in one of these pictures. I wound up having the surgery on April 18th, 6 days later. My surgeon was awesome. Whenever I see the picture of my x-ray, it still makes me, cringe. But it was tough. The biggest difficulty for me was not knowing what was going to happen or where to proceed from there. So I reached out to a couple people. Louis Simmons of Westside Barbell, who's the man, and a fellow by the name of Jim Hoskinson, who ruptured both tendons at the same time while doing a powerlifting meet out in the sticks of Alabama. And his story was crazy, but once him and his wife got back to me, that really, really inspired me. And Jim came back within a year to set another world record squat. Something Louis Simmons told me was, until you're over it mentally, you're not over it. It's taken a long time. So I set some goals when it happened. It had been a long time since I competed in bodybuilding shows. So I said, okay, 2 years from now, I'm going to compete again. My wife supported me. I think that Dr. Getcha, my surgeon, thought I was crazy. And I had some other ambitious goals. I wanted to develop a protocol to help people that suffered this same injury, because there was nothing else out there on it. So I set another goal: let's get on the basketball court again in 6 months. And you look at this and you say, no way, that's impossible. But there I am, 6 months after the fact, in a men's league again. I played in 3 games. It was a little too fast to put it through that. The doctor, was not happy because after 3 games I had to go get it drained. It just kept swelling up really bad. It was just too much, too fast. But mentally I wanted to do it, and I did it. I wanted to know what it was going to feel like for my athletes, and I wanted to know what the mindset was and how the body would feel. But 6 months after, I was back on the court, which to my knowledge is the fastest, not that I'm a pro athlete, but the fastest anybody has gone from patellar tendon rupture to the point where they're back on the field or the court. So like I said, I had set my goals to compete again in bodybuilding. And you can see in the picture on the left side of the screen, you can't even really tell which leg it was. It was my left leg. That was the day after, I think, my first bodybuilding show this year. I did 2 bodybuilding shows in June. I accomplished my goal. There's my left leg. You can hardly see the scar. You could actually, if you look close, see some of the bolts, which is pretty cool if you look over here. But you know, I made a full recovery. You know, I'm back. Whoops, let me go back to that shot for you. I'm back to you know, I don't know if it's 100%. You know, it's different. It's repaired. It's never going to be fixed, but it doesn't bother me. Don't really pay attention. This was me on stage this year. You know, I accomplished my goal. I conquered. I overcame. It was a long road back, but it was one of the best experiences of my life. You know, being able to learn from it and help others with it, similar injury, or just really grow as a person. So hang in there, Victor. You will get better. You will be back. It's going to get tough at times, but you know, just stay strong. You know, and the mental game is the most important thing. But you know, if others could do it, you can do it. To kind of set the precedent for those guys up there. All right. Good luck.